I did speak
Mhm.
recently with some coworkers about, if you go out on a first date and the person orders like food for their kids at home, would y'all pay for that or not?
You trying to wine and dine, you like you ain't about to get your 4-year-old no filet mignon. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now.
Better take them
Oh,
some of them
hey,
breadsticks from Olive
I'll
Garden.
stop at McDonald's, get you that 4-piece. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, we good.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to My Comfy Couch, where I'm your host, Nicole, and I'm a crisis counselor, life coach. I'm here to help with the dating field. On this channel, we talk about the challenges in the dating field today. So thank you for joining. Let us know if this is your first time. Let me know in the chat. Say hi to us. And those of you who are our returning viewers, thank you. And don't forget to support us, like, subscribe, share the video, okay? So I've got two common faces, familiar faces on the line today. Bernard, big up, say hi.
What up? What up? What up? What up?
Look at the hat. Look at the hat. Tori, what up? Say hi.
What's going on? Hello, everybody.
Tori, where you at now? What we got going on in the background?
I move a lot. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, so the topic that we're going to talk about today is a very important one, right? There are so many, as we know, we've talked about a lot on this show, around the age, again, in the 30s, 40s, there are a lot of single moms, right? So this discussion is going to be the role of a stepfather. We have two men on the line, and I do want to say your status in terms of if you guys have kids or not, because I think that'll be interesting to kind of hear your perspectives on this. So Bernard, do you have any kids?
I do. I do.
Okay.
I have 4 beautiful kids.
Okay, so 4 beautiful kids, boys, girls, what? Tell me.
All right. So my daughter's the oldest. She's 18. She's in college now. Yep. So then I have 3 boys, of course. I have a 14-year-old, a 13-year-old, and a 3-year-old.
Oh, so you started all over, huh, Renard?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
They got you?
Yes.
Oh, Tori, tell me, Tori, do you have any babies, any kids?
No, but I got 5 godchildren, so that's enough for me.
Oh, 5. That's a lot. And are you really the goddad, or is it like, I just call you for your
No,
birthday?
I really am, and like his first daughter is my first godchild.
Oh, okay. All right, so you got lots of practice. Have you
Yeah,
changed any Pampers, Tori?
I've been changing Pampers since my sister came along. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's good to have your two perspectives on the line as we talk about this. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, of course, was that like controversial video, which I watched just for this show because I heard people talking about it, about that lady who was going off on her baby daddy. It apparently she had like 4 kids and he only had one of those 4 with her. So he brought McDonald's only for his one kid. So she kind of set him up and had the video rolling to kind of catch him coming in so she can expose that he was only bringing kid food for one of the kids, not the 4. So her whole argument was, hey, I have 4 kids. You knew I had kids when you knocked me up. Why didn't you bring food for all of them? So now you guys tell me from your perspective, how do you feel about that? Like if someone is a stepdad, has one kid, well, not stepdad, but if he had one kid and they're no longer together, what do you think about that?
I go first. All right. So we don't know the whole story, but we can piece it together. I don't know how he is. I can only speak from me, my perspective, and what I do. Me as a man, if I have a child by somebody, if I'm bringing some food, I got to bring food for everybody. That's just me.
Oh,
I'm saying, because as she said, he knew prior that she had kids. You know what I'm saying? So, but once again, you don't know the whole story. I mean, the child might have been excluded. She might have been dating somebody else and they excluded the child. So, you don't really know the whole dynamic of the storyline. But for me, look outside looking in, he could have got food for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
so what if this was your ex? So you're talking about even if this was your ex, it's not your current girlfriend. You just had a kid with her and she has 3 other kids. This is your ex. You're still gonna bring food for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now let me throw this out there too now.
Mm-hmm.
So did the child call the dad? like that. Hey, can you give me something to eat? You know what I mean, it's so many variables that can go along with this storyline. You know what I mean? She tried to set the man up from the get-go, recording him from the get-go. So it's something fishy about the story. So it's something fishy. So what's the whole gist of the story?
That's the thing too. Like you said, we only see bits and pieces, so we really don't know the backstory, and we comment in. But so okay, so you're saying like as a man, you feel like you need to feed all the children.
Yeah, man. Hey, 4 Happy Meals it is. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta get the double quarter pounder of cheese supersized. You ain't gotta do it all like that. Hey,
Tori, tell me, what do you think, Tori?
Well, let me first preface my statement by saying the individual later said that the whole thing was staged between her and the guy. That the reason why she did it was for social media purposes and to get people to talking about that particular subject.
So, okay. Well, go ahead.
Now that that's out in the open, to answer your question, you can't do for one and not do for the others. But like Bernard said, there are some other variables that are factored in. Like, did he call and say, "Hey, Dad, can you bring me something to eat?" He said, "Bring me." He didn't say, "Bring us." Now, I think on the dad's part, he could have been like, "Well, where are your brothers or where are your sisters or something like that." Like, if they're not there, then yeah, it's fine for him to bring that one child something because the other ones aren't there and he doesn't have to worry about feeding them at that particular point in time, and they don't have to worry about feeling slighted either. But if they're also there, then yeah, if you feed one, feed all of them.
So what about, like, he was suggesting having the boy come out to the car? So what if the boy did call and say, "Hey, Daddy, can you get me some McDonald's?" And then Dad pulled up and was like, "Okay, son, come to the car. Maybe we could go drive to McDonald's or what have you." What if it was in that regard where, he kind of stepped out with the kid? Because he was suggesting like, "Okay, well, let him come out to the car then." What y'all think about that?
Well, that's different because even with him coming out to the car, the mom knew he still had the McDonald's on him. It's different if he would have said, "Well, I'm going to come and pick my son up and we're going to spend time together." Now, like, he didn't necessarily have to say, "Hey, I'm taking him to get something to eat because he asked me to." He can just say, "We're going to have father-son time." And in that father-son time, take him to McDonald's like he originally asked. And that way, mission accomplished. He got what he wanted, and she doesn't feel a certain type of way that the other children got neglected.
Ooh, tell me.
All right, because that is absolutely correct. However, it's still going to be some people that's going to say that is dead wrong. Why not take them with you as well? You were once with me. You know what I'm saying? Now, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so many different dynamics in relationships. You got to know your partner. You know what I'm saying? You got to know your partner's going to be messy in the situation, or you got a guy that's trying to be an actual good dad. You know what I mean? And you want to have that one-on-one time with your son or your daughter. That you got to have that individual bond with them away from the other kids as well. So this man, we can spin this thing around and around and around and around, but it's never going to be a 100% correct answer, and it's not going to be 100% wrong answer because it's too many variables associated with kids and parents.
Oh, exactly. And you guys, I thought differently. I thought that she felt like super entitled to feel like he is responsible for feeding all 4 of the kids. I understand perhaps maybe her not wanting the kid to eat in front of the others, but when the gentleman suggested, "Hey, we'll let him come to the car," or what have you, like, to me, she should not expect this man to pay for all 4 kids. In addition to that, we talk about variables. So what about Christmas? Christmas, you gonna get all of them gifts? What about the birthdays? You gonna get everybody a gift for their birthday? Because that's the thing, is like, what if you're a father who's, really involved in things like that? You getting your kids good Christmas presents and the other 3 looking like, "Ooh, my daddy ain't get me that Xbox." You know what I mean? So, so where do you draw the line? You know what I mean?
Man, you can't be afraid of no. You can't be afraid of the word no. I mean, it's good to do for your other step kids and stuff like that, but if you really are involved, you're gonna treat them like your own anyways. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're together or not together, you grow an attachment, you've grown with a bond with that child. Still treat them like it's still yours. You know what I mean? Because ultimately they're gonna view you as, hey, that's still like my father or my stepfather, my mother, my stepmother. They're still gonna view it the same way. Kids recall and retain information by memory. You know what I'm saying? If you was there in the beginning, be there at the end.
So you saying even if this is an ex, like every ex you date with a baby, you gotta be Santa Claus?
I ain't saying I'm taking care of them like that, but guess what? You can call upon me, and if I can help, I'm gonna help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just being real.
Tell me, Tori.
I'm not to everybody, no. And to what Bernard said, where if you need me, call on me, but I can't be your first resort. Like I have to know, well, who else did you call before me? Because like you had to have gone through a series of steps to get to me, if as your last resort. I'm just saying.
Tori, you gonna make her fill out a questionnaire, Tori?
I'm just saying. Like if we haven't been together for a while and we don't talk like that, yeah, I would hope that it's like you have nowhere else to turn if it gets to that point.
Okay, so let's go into the whole discussion for tonight of the stepfather. Like, what is the role of the stepfather, right? So, what do you guys think is the role? I know, Bernard, you have kids. Do you date women with kids, Bernard?
I do.
Okay, and Tori, do you date women with kids? I'm sorry?
It's kind of hard not to.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
These days.
Exactly. Tori, so Tori, you date women with kids as well?
Kids and pets, yes.
Sometimes it's the same. It's one and the same, right? So let me know from you guys' perspective, when you are dating a woman that has kids, if you guys are in a monogamous, serious relationship, what do you think your role is when it comes to the kids, their kids? Tori,
go first to me.
Go first, Tori.
Well, for me, since I've had I guess you want to call it luxury of being a something to children from a baby until teenagers, for me, it depends on at what point in their life I'm coming in. Okay. It also depends on if their father is in their life in any capacity, whether it's consistently, whether it's every now and then. And then the third variable, which I think is the most important, is what their mom will allow me to be in their child's life.
Woo! Right there.
So like the first, like I could have all the intentions of being either playing dad or being a positive male figure in the child's life, but if the mother gives me limitations, then I can only do what she allows me to do.
Oof. So do you find that that's a challenge, that women are kind of restrictive in how much they let you engage with their kids? Do you find that that's a challenge?
It can be sometimes. It really depends on, the way that she might have necessarily been brought up. Like she might have been brought up in a single parent home. So if she didn't have any type of male figure in her life, then she doesn't know how to receive it, and then she doesn't know how to sit back and watch her children receive it either. So yeah, sometimes it is a challenge.
Oh, so is that a turnoff for you? Like, if you notice, do men pay attention to the parenting style? And if for some reason yeah, look at y'all both like, yup.
Yeah.
And if you notice that she just can't let go of the reins on the kids, if she's not perhaps doing that great of a job herself, those are kind of like red flags to kind of step back.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Bernard, what about you?
Yeah, it's definitely a flag. I mean, because later on down the line, you're not just dating the mother when you go in this situation. You're just not just dating them. You got to date the kids. You got to scope the scene with everything, because ultimately, if you're dating for a purpose, you're going to be dating for a purpose. You know what I'm saying? The kids are definitely going to be around. You got to have a relationship with the kids. The kids have to be comfortable. The mother has to be comfortable. You have to be comfortable. At a point in time, it's going to be a situation where that melting pot becomes very, very small. And if it's a different type of atmosphere that you're not familiar with, that's being spoken and not seen, it's gonna bump heads.
Ooh, all right now.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to scope the scene. You got to fit. You got to know yourself. Are you able to adapt in that situation? Because if not, you might as well remove yourself now, because it's gonna cause problems. And it's gonna cause problems for you. It's gonna cause problems for her, and it's definitely gonna cause problems for the kids.
Ooh, yeah. So single moms watching, you got to pay attention, right? Because men are paying attention. And aren't you guys paying attention to how they treat their other, like, baby daddies, quote unquote?
Oh yeah.
Because are you guys thinking like,
Absolutely.
okay, because if I have a kid with her, this is how she gonna treat me. So so women got to be careful, right, on the way on how they treat their child's fathers, because you guys are paying attention too, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But we're not only paying attention to how they treat their child's fathers, we're also paying attention to how they treat their own children.
Ooh.
Like,
Bingo, bango.
if you ain't the best parent with the children that are already present, not really gonna give me much motivation to have a child with you.
Ooh.
Because I have nothing to go off of that's gonna say you're gonna treat this child any different than you have the ones that are already here.
Ooh. So now it gets kind of complicated, right? Because in the dating phase, you might just be dating that person at first, and you don't really get to see their interactions with their kids that much. So how do you guys gauge that? Is it like when y'all talking on the phone, if she's shouting to the back, "Hey, Ray, I'm on the phone, shut up!"
Yep.
Or is it like, how do you guys gauge that?
Man,
Before you
all
meet
right,
the
so
kids? You know what I mean?
I can speak for me. I want to date. I date a woman that wants their kids involved in her life. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to. For me, I don't want to date a woman that like, oh, I want to go out. I was like, dang, don't you got kids? Don't worry about them. I'm good. Like, no, you good, but what about the kids? Like, what did they eat today? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't worry about it. I'll bring a doggy bag. No, what do I need to order? Some pizza, some chicken or something? You know what I'm saying? Like, but we pay attention. We pay attention. Yeah, like, don't be yelling in the phone. Like, hey, hold on, and missing the mute button. You ain't hitting mute. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we pay attention. We definitely pay attention.
So now,
and on the flip side,
oh, go ahead, Tori.
We also pay attention to those individuals that try to somehow bring their kids with them on the first date.
Ooh, what do y'all think about that?
I ain't never had that one though. I ain't never
had
that.
They're a little too eager for you to meet their children.
I ain't never had that situation either.
Ooh, Tori, is that a red flag if they're too eager to meet the kids? Ooh, Tori, what does that mean?
That's every color flag except green.
Does that mean that they're not? So that means that they may not be the safest, the best person to have your kids around, huh?
I look at them as an opportunist in a situation like that.
Ooh. I did speak recently with some coworkers about, if you go out on a first date and the person orders like food for their kids at home, would y'all pay for that or not?
It's kind of,
Bernard, you said he was looking for somebody that's looking out for the kids.
Laughing off like, we going Dutch today or what? I mean, I don't know. I ain't never been in that situation.
Bernard,
so
you said you wanted her to look out for the kids. She's looking out for the kids.
But that's different. That's different. You can't.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Because you trying to wine and dine. You like, you ain't about to get your 4-year-old no filet mignon. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now.
Better take them some of them breadsticks from Olive Garden.
I'll stop at McDonald's, get you that 4-piece. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, we good.
Tori, would you pay or not?
No, they can take a bag of these breadsticks from Olive Garden, but no.
Man, Tori, you look like you're on Playboy. Tori, you're hurting people's feelings. After you're done for Breeze, the girl from the other episodes.
Hey, they don't need to know about all of that. I'm still in therapy about that, but that's okay.
Sorry. Woo, Lord. Okay, now. All right.
But my question would be, why didn't you feed the kids before you got out the house? If you took all this time to make sure that you were on point before you left, You could have did something, a can of spaghetti and meatballs, cereal, ramen noodles, something to make sure that they were fed before you leave the house.
So that's a bad sign, right? You guys are red flagging her if she orders food for the kids on the first date.
I ain't never had that. It's like, I mean, but yeah,
I ain't never had that
it
happen
seemed
either.
kind of bad. It seemed kind of bad.
I ain't never had that happen.
Because I'm not taking you to Golden Corral for the first date. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that. So
she done brought her big purse, Bernard.
You see what I'm saying? I'm not doing
that. So how about you, Bernard? What do you think is a man's role, a stepfather's role in the kid's life?
All right. So I am a father, so I am kind of biased on this stuff because I do have kids of my own. So the first thing you do as you go in, as Tori said, you got to establish what is the role of the father. Is he currently there? Is he active? Is he deceased? What's going on in that situation? And then you kind of move forward. Because for me personally, I see if the father is active. If not, if he is, cool, whatever. I want to try to get to know him a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That's just for me personally. Because there's only one side of the story being told, first of all. and as a man who's active in this kid's life, I don't want another man to try to overstep my boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Because you do that to me, it's going to be some problems.
Ooh! So you want to make sure like he feels comfortable with you and you guys have like a good understanding.
And have that man talk. Like, look, I'm not trying to replace you.
Right.
I'm just trying to assist you. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because nowadays it takes a village to raise kids. Let's just be honest. You know what I'm saying? The more the merrier, but that's cool. But as the primary father in the child's life, let me do what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? If my son, my daughter needs something, call me.
Oh,
you know what
okay.
I'm saying? So I just don't like stepping on toes. You know what I mean?
Okay.
For me, and then I'm pretty sure we're gonna talk about discipline later on down the.
Oh, I was going next. Come on now, let's go there, Bernard. Let's talk about. Yeah.
For discipline, for me, you know what I'm saying? I never touch another man's child.
Ooh.
I don't do that. I don't believe in that. You know what I'm saying? Nah, it's not my place. You know what I mean? It's not my place. The mom can do that all she wants to, but I'm not never touching another man's child.
Oh, so what about if it's not touching? What if it's verbal reprimanding or timeout or whatever?
It's certain forms of discipline that's okay, but yeah, that touch thing, boy, that'll get you touched. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'll get you. But but yeah, I mean, you can. It's ways you can talk to kids. You know what I'm saying? But you have to gain that relationship with a child before you even get to that stage of a disciplinary. And the mom has to allow you that permission. She has to release that to you. You just can't walk in and just say, I'm the man of the house. No, that ain't how it works.
Oh, so you got to have a talk with the mom too to say, okay, what do we what do we see as my disciplining? Yeah, okay, right, that's good. Right.
You got to be on the same playing field. You know what I'm saying?
Communication. Oh, yes. So what about if what if the father is not present and the kid is young? Because I've spoken to someone where meaning a friend who said, hey, I came into her daughter's life when she was 18 months and the father wasn't present. So I was a father, like I disciplined her physically, everything, and I grew her up to now in her 20s. Like, does that matter to you guys? If the guy is not present at all, do you think you would mind? And again, the age, would you guys mind, disciplining in any, kind of way? Does the circumstance change?
Not for me. I still wouldn't physically, I just in my mind, I can't do that. That's not my seed. That's not my child. But once again, that's for me. But a big part of that is the mother has to release all that to you. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You can't go in demanding none of that. It's not going to work. It has to be given to you. It has to. It's a level of respect that goes in behind all of that. So that's my.
I agree with that.
Go ahead, Tori. You said you agree?
I agree. Yeah, because they're going to be different. Like, there's going to be different situations that the guy is going to be in when it comes to the kids. like there are going to be situations where it's just him and the kids. And then there's going to be a situation to where, you know what, the kid might step out of line when both of them, both parents are around. And then what happens? You know, he's going to be looking to her, she's going to be looking to him. And if that defined role isn't established, then he doesn't know exactly how far to step. Whereas she might be looking to him to do something.
Right.
And he's looking at her like, well, you haven't told me what I'm allowed to do.
Ooh, this is great. This is great. Again, single moms watching or men who are dating single moms, these are great conversations to have up front, because I really don't think people do that. Like Tori said, the situations happen and you're just kind of expecting or assuming it's going to go a certain way. So have those kinds of discussions up front when you're dating someone. Me personally, as a single mom, I would only be with someone that I trusted, you know, their authority in the situation. And I definitely believe that, you know, my daughter has to respect humans, period. So if it is some other adult and she's disrespecting them, I expect them, to say something. So again, I'm not with the whole physical, because I don't even hit her myself, thank God. Like, she's like really well behaved. I don't have to go that route. But I'm just saying that I think, she needs to have respect regardless. So whatever adult, as long as it's not inappropriate, if she's behaving a certain way, I think they do have the right to correct her, in a reasonable manner. So I think women need to be with men that they can respect their authority and trust that they're not gonna, abuse the kid or overstep their boundaries, as well. Tell me, Bernard.
I want to piggyback up off of that. So
yeah,
women out there, know your man's behavior traits. Know if he has an aggression problem.
Woo!
You know what I'm saying? Know if he's a soft spoken. You know what I'm saying? Because you know your kids. You know your kids better than they know, because they trying to get to know them. You know what I'm saying? So also have a conversation with your kids as well. You know what I'm saying? Find out, are they ready for that? You know what I'm saying? Because some kids ain't ready. They are like, nah, the worst thing a step parent, mom or dad, wants to hear is, well, you ain't my, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
what? I understand that, but so have a conversation with your children, you know what I'm saying? And be honest. Be honest with them. Just be honest. Honesty kills a lot of stuff.
It does.
And
so, Bernard, but that's the thing, is because there's got to be balance, right? Because some kids will never say, yeah, sure. Let me get some other penis to come in here and tell me what to do while he is hitting it, right? So I think women, first of all, some of them need to stop giving a kid so much power. But secondly, I think people need to be real about the kind of kids they have, because some people got baby kids, okay? So when this guy comes into your life, if you cannot control your children, that's a big deal. I think before you start trying to date a dude, get your kids under control, okay? Because I see that's a big issue too, because they don't even respect the mom, far less the man that comes into the relationship. And then we have, which one of my coworkers always speaks about, we have a lot of kids coming up that might have autism and other kind of, things that they're dealing with. So it's more of a challenge perhaps to deal with those children as well. So I think it's having those kind of conversations, being upfront with someone you're dating, and learning, how to co-parent in these different scenarios.